spooky story time. I watched a scary movie several years ago. Normally, I'm okay with scary movies; they don't bother me. I don't like body horror. I don't like gore. It wasn't one of those kind of movies. It was more of a psychological horror movie. Hereditary. If anybody has seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Um, in the movie, there's a character who makes a weird sound, and I can't remember how the sound is because I'm consciously trying to black out what the sound was because she made this. She was a girl who she was. I guess you could say her body was hosting a god entity type demonic entity thing. And so she would do really terrible things like beheading birds and just creepy, weird stuff. And she was just kind of weird and creepy. But she made this sound in her mouth all the time throughout the movie. And this character passes away. She dies a horrific death, really. And then her mother still can hear that sound, like her daughter is haunting her, kind of thing. And so anyway, I watched the movie, and normally these kind of movies don't bother me that bad, but because of the nature of the movie, and I'm a mother, and motherhood is extremely close to my heart, and Annie being a mother, and she's continually failing her children, and I'm like getting mad at her. I'm like, and so there is the emotion, right? I'm getting tied to the story through my emotions because through it I'm like, Annie, stop failing your family. You keep making the wrong choices. You keep doing the wrong things. You're like, why do you not see what's happening here? And so I'm getting emotional, right? And spoiler, at the end of the movie, when she has only one of her beloved family members left, her son, and I'm like, okay, at least save your son. Come on. Please, please. You have to save your son. And nope, she doesn't. And I'm just like so traumatized that she totally failed everyone. And so anyway, the movie's over. I'm like, oh man, that movie just made me mad. And I'm going to bed. And I'm a light sleeper, so I like everything to be super dark in my room. And I usually put on earplugs, and I have to. So anyway, I'm getting ready for bed. It's dark. I'm laying there. I haven't put my earplugs in yet, and there's nobody else in the house beside my husband and me. And I'm laying there in the dark, and I hear. My husband wasn't in the room at this point, but I'm just laying there in the dark. And I hear that sound that girl would make, the possessed girl. I hear that sound, the same exact sound. And I am telling you, it wasn't in my head. I wasn't imagining it, because I was just trying to calm down and, get ready to fall asleep. And I heard that sound, and it was in my room. It was like it was past the foot of my bed. And I was like, not today, Satan. I'm like, I'm not going there. I was like, I could have got scared, and I felt the whole creepiness and the whole like, what? But I was like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I just stuck the earplugs in my ear, rolled over, got into my position that I get into when I'm gonna go to sleep, and I did go to sleep, and I didn't hear that sound again, but it did make me really have to do some internal digging. Like, why? Obviously, this movie sparked something in me, in my psyche, uh, that for me to have that kind of experience, like, that's not a normal thing to happen to me. I don't go around hearing things. So, I've never had night terrors or what's that called when you wake up but you can't move. Anyway, except I did have one thing that happened to me when we were in Oregon at a campground one time. I'll tell that at a different time, but I did do some internal work, and this kind of is off of my other video that's talking about the shadow, because I think sometimes we're seeing our own stuff. We're seeing our own, not always. I mean, I know that there are people out there who've had experiences, and it's like, I'm not going to judge whether that's their own psychological issues presenting themselves to be like, hey, work on me. For me, though, I think that's what it was. It was like saying, hey, this made you really mad. Why did it make you really mad? And I had to figure that out. And I had to deal with my own issues of empty nest syndrome-y type stuff that I was going through. And anyway, it did make me dig. It did make me do some work. And it was very spooky. And I don't want it to happen again. And when I hear weird noises, mostly I'm like, oh, there's a mouse in the wall. I have to set some traps out or something like that. My first thought isn't necessarily, oh, there's a spook in my room, But this was a spook. I'm telling you, that was spooky. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that story, and talk to you later.